Today's review is a collaboration project. This is between Rivington Brew Co and DEYA. This is part of their Farm Trip 2024. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're reviewing Farm Trip 2024. This is a collaboration between Rivington and DEYA. It's a double dry hopped IPA, 6%, 500ml can. Love the 500ml cans. I'll read you the blurb. So this is the official beer of Farm Trip 2024, a double dry hopped IPA brewed with our mates at DEYA. Hopped with Nelson Sauvin, HBC 1019, that's the sort of Sabro-y like one. Strata CTX, and Nelson Sauvin in Hop Kiev. Barley, wheats and oats, all the other good stuff. As I said, it's in the big 500ml can. Let's crack it open, get it in glass and see if it's any good. I've got high hopes for this because Rivington make great beer. DEYA make great beer. They used to make really great beer, but I feel they've dipped a little bit. But I think this one's going to be a good one. The hops in it are interesting. Yeah, so let's obviously if that's their official beer of the Farm Trip, which is like a sort of festival that they do at Rivington, never been, but it's sort of in the middle of nowhere basically on a big farm. It's unlike a lot of these breweries that are like on industrial estates. It's somewhere picturesque. It's one of those places that I need to go, but if you're going to go there, that's really all you're going to go there for. I don't think there's much in the way of small, even towns and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. Beer in a glass. Wow. We've seen a lot of beers like this recently. Beautiful golden custardy colour. 2 fingers, almost 3 fingers of very loose, just off white head. Looks like a New England IPA that I love. Let's see what the aroma's like. Oh yeah. I do like that 1019. It'd be interesting what they call it. They'll probably call it Cocarine or something like that. You get a lot of that sweet coconut flavour from it, and it's almost like vanilla as well with it. It's quite creamy. Sabro's got an element which has that woody coconut, but it also has quite a lot of lime and pineapple, and it has that sort of mint, and it's got more funk to it, I think. Where this is a lot cleaner in terms of its aroma. The coconut is slightly less woody. It's slightly sweeter. There is pineapple in there, but yeah, but you're also getting a sort of almost like a vanilla aroma as well. Obviously, there's other hops in this. I'm not picking out much in terms of Nelson, considering not only has it got Nelson Sauvin as the leading hop, but it's also got Nelson Sauvin in Hop Kiev, which is that stuff that's a little bit more, it's a more intense flavour of Nelson. But in the aroma, you're getting all of that experimental hop. Strata as well. Not getting that sort of passion fruit, pot, grapefruity sort of aroma. Smells really good and inviting though. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Oh wow, that is really, really tasty. But it is all about that, the 1019 experimental hop. It's lovely and smooth, soft body, as you would expect from obviously DEYA and Verdant. And it has got that sort of creamy element to it. Not getting much in the way of the Nelson Sauvin, which I'm very, very surprised at. But luckily, HBC 1019 is a lovely flavoured hop, and I'm getting a lot of that. There's little echoes of that Strata coming through. And we've got Strata and Strata CGX. And although I'm guessing when I say, CGX is the more intense version of Strata, anything which has got something else to it. You get like a hop, and then you get BBC or Spectrum or CGX. I think CGX probably is a sort of farm that grow that Strata hop. And then you get, obviously you get liquid form, pellet form, all that sort of stuff. And usually if I see any other stuff next to it, I think, it's a bit more intense than the normal one. But you're getting murmurs of Strata. And it's maybe holding back a little bit, the 1019, but I still think that's the flavour. I don't know whether it's that pineapple and coconut and the creaminess that is just cuts through all the other flavours. I'm not getting hardly any of the Nelson. I'm very surprised. It's very much in the background, and you get more of that slight hint of gooseberry. Not really much in terms of the white wine flavour, the grape flavour. And then just when you think, oh, is that, I'm getting a bit of grapefruit as well, but then a flavour is coming in that's a little bit more like pop, basically, like what Strata is. It has that sort of very dank flavour, and that sort of comes in, but it's not, it is like the punchline to the beer, because by that point, that creamy coconut has sort of subsided quite a bit. So it's almost as if you're getting a big hit of the 1019 and all those flavours associated with it. There's a little sort of murmur of the Nelson coming in, and then you get on the back end really the Strata flavour. But hops don't usually work quite like that. You know, although you get those flavours, you're not going, that hop comes in at the front, that hop comes in the middle, that one comes in at the back. But that's what you're getting with this. It's a very pleasant beer, because I think in terms of two ends of the spectrum type of hops, 1019 is a big, bright, sweet, coconutty, pineapple flavour. Whereas Strata, which is, I think, the other bigger flavour here, is quite on the other end of the spectrum. It's dank. It's a bit more dark and earthy, and a very not bright is not a word you would ever call to describe Strata hops. But it's wrapped up in a very tasty beer. Lovely and smooth, soft body. I mean, it's Rivington. I think it's a really good beer. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Farm Trip 2024. This is collab with Rivington and DEYA. Double dry hot IPA, 6%. It's a lovely beer. It is a lovely, lovely beer. And I am becoming a really big fan of 1019. I think it's one of those sort of hops that on its own is going to be too much. But I think getting the right blend of different hops to go with it is going to be key. And I think it's one of those sort of hops that brings something to the flavour of beer that we haven't. We get it a bit with Sabro, but Sabro's too much, really. Too much of that tropical pina colada flavour. This is a little bit different, and I think it could be more influenced by other hops. But let's go for the scores, starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. Now, I'm not quite sure how much this was. I would say probably about $5.50. And finally, my overall experience. Tighten the scores up. We're not quite hitting highly recommended, but we are hitting pretty damn close to it. 79 out of 100. That's a pretty damn good score. Might not be highly recommended, but it's high end of the recommended. The White Snake of beer, you slide this one in slow and easy. It's a lovely beer, but Rivington and DEYA, you know that they've got pedigree of making good beers, and if this is going to be their sort of showcase beer for their farm trip, as it were, their little mini festival thing, then they're going to make it. It's going to make a good beer, aren't they? And this definitely is it. And I like this 1019. I expect to see more of it. But let me know in the comments. 1019, have you had many beers? Because we've had a few that have it recently. I've had ones that I haven't reviewed. I drank a Polly's that had it. I didn't review it, and that was really good. I know there's a Beak beer which has got it in that I'm going to try and get. I've got it on my list, although I put together a little list when I go on Trembling Man list, but sometimes I don't always buy them. They've got a one with it in. And I had another one with it in. Was it the double IPA that I had? Oh, I can't remember. I've definitely had it in another beer. So it's coming into lots of beers. But let me know if you've had it and what you think of it. And I'm thinking it's coconut and it's it's coconutty, sweet and vanilla sort of flavours, but you might get something else from it. Let me know if you've had it and what beer you've had it in. Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to see what other beers that we can get with that, and especially if you think there's other hops that are going really well with it, then let me know in the comments. And until the next one, well, you know what you do. Drink good craft beer, like and subscribe, and keep on rocking.